Welcome back to IGN Live at Gamescom 2015, presented by Homefront: The Revolution. I'm Max Scoville, and joining me is Guha. You are one of the guys behind Skylanders SuperChargers.
That's right.
So Skylanders, people have become accustomed with them. It's annual franchise at this point. You come out with new toys and cool new bells and whistles, and this time vehicles.
Right.
Which is that's a fun thing for toys to do. What's the story here? What are you showing off?
So we wanted to really change up the way Skylanders is played. So this year we decided to put vehicles, but not just land vehicles like cars and motorbikes and tanks, but take them into the sea: submarines, boats, hovercraft, and into the sky: helicopters, UFOs, jet planes. And this year, the vehicles themselves, it gave us an opportunity to take the base off the toys.
Yeah.
So they're all made to be played with. Cars are super fun.
Yeah,
they have different kind of tire materials.
I really like this because, I'm an old school action figure nerd. I love toys that you can play with and you can do stuff with, and the whole figurine thing never quite fit with me. And these guys are cool, but they can't put down their weapons. You can't pose them. But for a vehicle, this is like a little car that totally does what it's supposed to do. So and
every one of those rolls a little differently, and will really allow you to kind of play that out. So it's sort of made to be played with in the living room as well as in the game. This fella here, this is called Reef Ripper. It's an attack sub. It's themed after a fish, and so the fins kind of go back and forth.
And there's a lot of different materials in here. They're very sturdy. These are kids' toys. They're gonna throw them around. They're gonna get popsicle juice on them and stuff. And
but it's also a toy that I would be proud to put it on my shelf.
Yeah, totally. So you've got the NFC chip in there. How much space does that take up? Because I've always been kind of presumably it's sort of the size of the base, but how much does that kind of affect the design of the vehicles?
So for us, we tried to start with the creative vision for the vehicle design and the character designs first. And so each time we do something new and magical and innovative, it sort of presents different kinds of technical challenges. That we can solve. What we need to do is just make it feel really great, play really well. And that kind of thing.
Now let's take a look at what these guys look like in the game. You told me something that I'm kind of surprised by. You've got online multiplayer for the first time, right?
That's right, yeah. New for Gamescom, we're announcing two things. Online multiplayer for the first time. And actually we have co-op multiplayer online for the adventure part of the game.
Oh, wow.
This epic adventure. And at Gamescom, we're introducing multiplayer racing as well. Not just racing on land, but also sea in the sky, and each one of these are really quite different from each other, but super fun, easy to jump into, pick up and play, has several levels of depth.
Now, I know that the big question with kind of any kids property, I know that publishers are usually hesitant to have an online multiplayer component because it is kind of tricky to send kids online.
Yeah.
What are some of the kind of the challenges / safeguards you have in place here?
So there's two types of things that we look at. One is ease of use. Does it just work?
Right.
Is it easy to get up on online play, have a great gaming experience? And so part of that is a really streamlined flow, user interface. It's up to 4-player MP, but with friends you have voice chat. With strangers, there's no voice chat. So in that simple, it's a very simple thing. But with that manner, you make it safe for the kids. And so it's only known people that you have this kind of interaction with. For co-op adventuring, it's with friends only, which makes sense because when you're playing co-op, you need to be able to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And you probably don't want to be out if you're with a total stranger.
Yeah, and that's all works within the confines of existing parental control stuff on the consoles, I'm guessing.
Exactly. What we're looking at here is 4-player split screen, or 4-player multiplayer rather. 4 different consoles playing at the same time. Each vehicle brings unique capabilities, so unique primary and secondary attack, unique handling attributes. The game is built upon a set of modifications as well, so you can collect random loot drops throughout the adventure that you can then trick out your vehicles with as well. Here we're looking at 2-player split screen. So this is for local play. So the game is obviously fantastic in single player, local co-op as well, and in local co-op you have a split screen view. We're looking on the left at Shark Tank. That's Shark Shooter Terrafin's SuperCharger pair, and that's introduced new for Gamescom. Here we're looking at the flying mode in local split screen. You have Jetstream, that's Hurricane Jetback's vehicle. On the left, you have Stealth Stinger, which is the helicopter over here that we have on the table. And the flying adventure really allows you to explore verticality.
Oh, man.
And kind of like a fully extra dimension of movement than you're typically used to in racing games.
Yeah, this is, I mean, so far kind of what we've seen has been, pretty iterative, but this is a pretty huge leap forward. I mean, you're essentially adding a whole extra genre to how the game is played.
Yeah, and we start with, look, I mean, if we're going to vehicles, Skylanders is all about epic adventuring. A vehicle adventure, that's rarely done. Now we take it to land, sea, and sky, we give a huge variety of experiences. Then with the racing, it's almost like, well, look, I mean, with vehicles, you want racing, but let's do it in a unique way.
Okay. Man, this is neat. Now I have to ask this. Could you give some insight on the relationship with Nintendo and the Skylanders amiibo? Because that's one of those things I don't think anyone really expected would ever happen. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, I couldn't have forecasted that would have happened years ago either. What I would say is that over time, actually, Vicarious as well as Activision's had a long and storied history with Nintendo from a creative partnership standpoint. Nintendo audience has been so important for Skylanders from the very beginning as well. When they came out with Amiibos, it gave us a unique way to say, what can we bring unique from a gaming standpoint that really hasn't been done with Nintendo characters or with Skylanders? And so Bowser has never been playable as a hero in a 3D role-playing environment.
Wow. This
is a great way to do it. He has this awesome upgrade tree. He becomes Magma Bowser. He can set dry bones on fire, and you can and these minions follow you around. And we work with the creators of Bowser to be able to develop this. And so it was like a really awesome creative opportunity for our team. They just kind of jumped out of bed each day to get that done. And same thing with DK. It's the first time since DK64 that has been playable in a 3D role-playing environment.
Yeah, that's one of those just odd, really cool, collaborations there.
And then each of those guys has their vehicles that play homage to their history. Yeah.
And I mean, the obvious thing here, and I almost feel like, rude bringing it up, but there's some guts of Mario Kart there. And it's cool. I don't know why
we take our inspiration from the best.
Yeah, I mean it's a Skylanders kart racer, but with planes and boats too, and then a full blown adventure. When does this come out?
So Skylanders SuperChargers is available on September 20th in North America and 25th in EU.
Great, and it's on effectively which platforms?
So we go all of them. Yeah, we go really broad with platforms.
It's faster to list the ones it's not on.
I know exactly.
Part of the reason for that is Tiger Gamecom.
Well, if we could, we would. No. Well, it's easier for our customers, especially for kids as young as 6 years old or 5 years old. They don't choose their platforms, right? They have what they have. So we want to be where the kids are, and so that means we're on PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, 360 PS3. iOS. We have a different complementary experience for 3DS and Wii, which is all racing focused. It's different than the racing that you saw here.
And this is totally backwards compatible with all the previous Skylanders.
Exactly. Awesome. What's crazy is, with Spyro's Adventure, we were like, oh my goodness, how we're going to do 32 playable characters, and now we're up to 300.
Well,
and they all work and they all drive.
Sorry, parents. Got to get a second mortgage for that. Well, these look great. Thanks so much for coming by and joining us.
I really appreciate it, Max.
We've got more Gamescom stuff coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.